What's up, everyone? My name is Andrew and I'm the host of Food with Friends. We've been learning about a fascinating man named Michael. Michael, as a sixth grader in the Bronx, decided he was going to become a physicist, and he made it happen. He then went on to work for companies like IBM and Amazon, and even founded his own company out of his Silicon Valley garage. Michael's done hang gliding, knows everything there is to know about quantum computing, and so much more. I recommend you go check out our prior videos with him. In this video, our last of 5, we're going to learn about what's next in his life. Michael wants to take on a job that makes a positive impact on climate change, and I know you're going to love this video. Let's get started.
I'm now applying for jobs back in industry again.
Yeah.
So I'm interviewing and looking for interesting work in industry that hopefully helps mitigate climate change, because climate change seems to be the biggest problem facing humanity now.
Yeah. What industries do you think it's the biggest problem in? I mean,
energy production and energy storage. So energy production would mean switching from gas and oil to photovoltaics and wind power and geothermal power. And storage would mean batteries and fuel cells and electric cars.
What's your thought process going forward? What do you think the solution to climate change is in the long run? And that's such a loaded question because there are so many different pieces.
Yeah.
But do you think, what are your thoughts on nuclear energy?
Yeah, I think nuclear energy should be part of the solution. It's unfortunate that nuclear energy is looked upon so unfavorably by a majority of people because it can be done safely. And far fewer people have died from nuclear energy than have died from the pollution from burning gas and oil by orders of magnitude. So overall, it's safer than burning gas and oil. And there's now known safe ways to store nuclear waste when there is waste. One of my former professors at Berkeley has been working on that problem. So unfortunately, I don't think we can build nuclear plants fast enough to make a big difference in mitigating climate change. So I think we need to do a lot more in terms of photovoltaics and wind power and geothermal power.
What are your thoughts on battery storage? Because I know that's where some of the issues have been over the years.
Yeah, battery storage is critical in part because renewable energy doesn't happen all the time. Like photovoltaic cells don't work when it's nighttime.
Yeah.
And wind turbines don't work when there's no wind blowing. So you need to store the energy that they've accumulated during the day or the windy periods. And so that's where batteries and fuel cells become important. So that's an equally important technology. Yeah. And there's various companies and startups working on that now as well. And probably the government will get more involved in funding that stuff too.
Do you think that's required to get to the point that we need to be at to start rolling back some of the effects of climate change? Well, not rolling back, but start slowing the effects of climate change?
I think we need to do everything to slow the effects of climate change. We should be doing everything we can now.
Yeah.
So I hope I can contribute to that in some way.
Is there any source of energy that you think is more ideal than another?
Again, I think nuclear is a very promising solution that has been unfairly blamed for problems or unfairly criticized.
Yeah.
So that's the big one.
Yeah.
I mean, France gets like 70% of their power from nukes. I think
France does?
France does, yeah. And Japan, I think, gets some very high percentage as well. And so people have demonstrated how to get power from nukes with not too much human life cost.
Yeah.
And I think the U.S. can do it as well.
Yeah.
In fact, Japan has developed mini nukes, basically small nuclear plants that can power a city block. So that's another interesting approach to the problem. Just make mini nukes for a neighborhood, say, or a town.
Yeah. The rollout, I bet, would be a lot easier than, gutting an entire, not gutting an entire electrical system, but having to build a gigantic plant versus, hey, see that, however
That
big
box,
the lot is.
yeah.
That box at the end of the block.
Right.
Probably don't go stick your head inside of it, but it'll power everything and we'll save the environment.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah.
So that brings you up to today.